Nevada-Tan, the Sasebo slasher. Natsumi was reportedly a happy child who starred on the basketball team and had a high IQ of 143. However, she loved basketball more than her classes, and her grades began to slip. Natsumi's mother forced her off the basketball team so she could focus more on her studies. Her grades continued to suffer even more as a result. Instead of studying, she would end up spending more time inside her bedroom on the internet, surfing the web, collecting horror media she'd find online, while curating them onto her personal blog. She would also draw, write poetry, and create her own story inspired by the movie Battle Royale, where she would write herself in as the main character and end up killing all of her classmates. Her best friend at the time was Satomi. One day she would see her friend make comments about her online, calling her fat and a pretentious goody-goody. Natsumi asked for an apology, but Satomi refused. Natsumi felt betrayed. She felt an urge to kill her friend right then and there, and began obsessing over how she could end her life. She thought of the girl as her friend. How dare Satomi talk to her like that? One morning, in the summer of 2004, Natsumi added a box cutter to her book bag before going to school. While the kids and teachers were at lunch, she would take this opportunity to lure Satomi into an empty classroom. She told Satomi she had a new game she wanted to show her. Natsumi told her to sit down in a chair, which she complied. Natsumi then told Satomi she was going to die. Satomi thought it was a joke when suddenly Natsumi covered her eyes, pulled out the box knife, and slit her throat. While bleeding, Natsumi grabbed her wrist and slashed them as well, leaving her in the classroom to bleed to death. Natsumi went to her next class, where the teacher looked upon her horrified. She was covered in blood, and in her hand was the bloodied box cutter still. The teacher rushed over asking if she was okay, thinking she took the blade to herself. "This isn't my blood," Natsumi stated, then pointed down the hallway. The police were called immediately, but was too late to save Satomi by the time they came. After Natsumi was taken into custody, she confessed to the crime, stating, "I have done a bad thing. I am sorry." She admitted that her and her friend had a falling out as a result of the messages that were left online. She claimed that Satomi slandered her. A police psychologist stated that Natsumi was not mentally ill, but already had a history of violent incidents, from punching and kicking other classmates to another issue involving a knife the month before the murder. Since the incident, she had become an internet meme turned cartoon character. The cartoonish depictions of her began to appear shortly after images of her were published, showing her wearing a pullover hooded sweatshirt with the word Nevada across the chest. Students of Nevada University would wear these to represent their school. It's reported shortly after the case went viral, their sales saw a spike due to people wanting to cosplay as Natsumi. Online, she would soon be dubbed Nevada-Tan. In Japanese, Tan was intended as an even cuter or affectionate variant of Chan, similar to baby talk. In other words, Tan implies a sort of affection that lifts Natsumi up from being a criminal into a beloved friend or family member. Her personal website's popularity suddenly gained interest online as well. When it was taken down, mirrors were established. Copies of her artwork began circulating around the web, with other artists creating variations of the originals. The obsession of the murderous child only grew. Even fan songs such as Cutie Nevada also started to circulate the internet. As for Satomi, she was awarded a graduation certificate after her passing, which her father accepted on her behalf. Natsumi was also awarded a certificate, as one is required in Japan. The school believed it would assist in her reintegration into society. Natsumi spent some years in a psychiatric facility and was released in 2008 to rejoin society. She has likely changed her name, with no confirmation of her whereabouts, presumably living her life as a normal adult woman. Okubo Elementary turned the room where the murder took place into a place of rest. According to news reports, the school's principal says a prayer there every day. I loved him so much. I thought it would bring us closer together, Jasmine said in trial. Jasmine Richardson would be the youngest person ever charged with multiple counts of murder in Canada. 12 years old at the time of the crime, she would murder her parents and 8-year-old brother in cold blood, with her then 23-year-old boyfriend, Jeremy. Before the incident, the couple initially met at a punk rock show. Jasmine would be enamored with Jeremy's goth-like appearance and look up to him. The longer the two were together, the more Jasmine's image began to take on the goth appearance of her boyfriend's. Every piece of clothing she owned had to be blacker than black. Jeremy had a history of violence and once told his friends that he was a 300-year-old werewolf. He was often described as wearing a vial of blood around his neck and claimed that he liked the taste of blood. Jasmine also believed she was a vampire, and through the internet website vampirefreaks.com, the couple carried on with their relationship. She described herself as a nocturnal Wiccan, with a fascination with hatchets, serial killers, blood, and human anatomy, looking up to Jeffrey Dahmer and Marilyn Manson. Despite the couple's passion, Jasmine's parents and several of both her and Jeremy's peers would disapprove of the relationship for how young she was and the drastic difference in age. When Jasmine's family found out about her werewolf boyfriend, they became understandably furious, grounding Jasmine and forbid her from seeing Jeremy. She was enraged. She would go online to describe her life as one of imprisonment and torture by her misunderstanding and cruel parents. She lamented about her loneliness and believed that if she and Jeremy could just be together, only then would they truly be happy. That is when a horrific plan began to take shape. She wrote to Jeremy, "I have this plan. It begins with me killing them and ends with me living with you." On the night of April 22nd, 2006, Jeremy snuck into Jasmine's house with a butcher knife. He was wearing all black with a ski mask. Both parents were asleep until a noise woke up Jasmine's mother. She would get out of bed and investigate the basement, where Jeremy began to viciously stab her over and over. The father woke up to screams and ran down into the basement to try to fight Jeremy off with a screwdriver. But to no avail, he became a victim to his knife as well. During this time, Jasmine would run to her little brother's room. At first, she would try to calm him down. He was frightened. However, once Jeremy met her in the kid's bedroom, they both cornered him. His last words were, "I'm scared. I'm too young to die." But the couple decided they couldn't let him live, their excuse being that he was too sensitive and it would be unfair to leave him without parents. Jasmine fatally stabbed her brother in his chest, and then Jeremy slit his throat. 2 hours after the murders, Jasmine and Jeremy were seen laughing and kissing at a nearby restaurant. The day after the murder, the boy's 6-year-old friend came by the house hoping to play. After there being no answer, he looked through the window and spotted the parents' lifeless bodies through a first-floor window. Traumatized, he immediately ran to his house where his parents called the police. The boy was later found upstairs, lying on a bed. The police went to Jasmine's junior high school, where they searched her locker. There they would find stick figure drawings of a girl lighting a house on fire with her family inside. Jasmine would immediately turn from missing person to murder suspect. When interviewing students, Jasmine's friends stated that she told them she planned to kill her parents on more than one occasion, but none of them ever took her seriously. In addition to statements by students posted on a Windows Live, police found somewhat of a poem belonging to Jeremy called Payment. It reads, "Payment. My lover's parents are totally unfair. They say that they really care. They don't know what is going on, as their greed continues to consume. She is slowly going insane. She continues to think that I came into her life to help her out and to stop what they keep trying to shout. It's all total bullshit. Their throats I want to slit. They will regret what they have done, especially when I see to it that they are gone. They shall pay for their insolence. Finally, there shall be silence. Their blood shall be payment. Jasmine and her boyfriend Jeremy were located 100 miles away, both arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. After being arrested, Jeremy asked an undercover officer, "You ever watch the movie Natural Born Killers? I think that's the best love story of all time. In the plot, the boyfriend had to kill the girlfriend's parents so she could be free of their control and live with him. While awaiting trial behind bars, Jeremy proposed to Jasmine through an exchange of jailhouse letters. She accepted and would write to him, "Dear my lovely Bersante, please don't be sorry. I'm the one that needs to be begging for your forgiveness. If only we ran, yes. But don't obsess on what could have been. In due time, we shall have our castle. I am not whole without you. I love you with everything I am. I'll never stop, and promises shall be kept however desolate it seems. I shall take it one day at a time. It can only get so bad before it gets better. I will be with you in spirit. I hope you're doing all right. However large a task, please don't stress out too much. Having your sanity might be helpful. More than anything, I wish to be with you and hold you again, but until that time comes, know I love you. XOXO, in joy and sorrow, my sweet 666, Jazz." In which Jeremy responded, "Dear Cuddle Honey, I'm sure that you're right. What's done is done. You need not ask for my forgiveness. Indeed, in due time, our empire shall be complete. Before you I was half. Now I am whole. I can't go back to being half. You are the air that I breathe. You are the moon that breaks through the clouds at night. You are all I need. I long to feel your soft skin. I yearn for your kisses, for they get me high. I hope that you stay true to your words. I shall remain strong. Sometimes I have trouble sleeping at night, but I'm sure the thought of you will get me through the nights. In due time we shall be together once again. But until that day arrives, stay strong, keep hope, and have faith. I love you with all of my heart and soul. Never forget that, my love. Until we speak again, XOXOXO, Jeremy." Jeremy admitted to killing her parents while high on drugs. He claims he tried to convince Jasmine not to go through the plan, but he loved her and would do anything for her. Jasmine attempted to pin Jeremy for all 3 of the killings, but according to Jeremy, he says, "I went upstairs and watched her cut her brother's throat. She knew it had to be done. I didn't touch him. I just paced and then went outside for fresh air before freaking out, then leaving. She cut his throat. She cut his throat. I swear to God, she cut his throat. I didn't even want to kill anyone. I was shocked by her reaction. She didn't show remorse or shed a tear when it was all over." Jasmine's trial lasted approximately 1 month at age 14. Jasmine was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, which is the maximum sentence allowed by the Youth Criminal Justice Act. During Jeremy's trial, he had accumulated a strange following of underage girls crying for him to be released. Jeremy was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to 3 life sentences in prison. Jasmine's 10-year sentence was officially completed in 2016 and was fully released from the criminal justice system. At the time of her release, Jasmine's attorney felt that the system has worked and that Jasmine was unlikely to reoffend. However, the officer that was first to arrive at the bloody crime scene expressed concern that Jasmine wasn't really rehabilitated and hoped that she hadn't tricked the criminal justice system. Neighbors and community members are still torn over the sentence, some believing it was far too light for such a barbaric triple murder. Till this day, Jeremy remains incarcerated in a Canadian federal facility and will be eligible for parole after serving 25 years. meaning somewhere around the year of 2033, and will be close to 50 years old. Jasmine has yet to offer an apology or express remorse for what she had done.